YouTube, what's the vibe? It's your boy Zebo708, and I'm back with another video. Today we're discussing Arabiyat Prestige Marwa. This fragrance, very talked about. Very talked about. So, it hit like a storm. A lot of reviewers had this in rotation. They were discussing this fragrance, kind of put it on a pedestal as being a very close dupe, clone, inspiration of Louis Vuitton's Imagination. Quite a few people said that it was very, very, very close. I had a nice little wearing with it. I'm gonna be honest. I had a nice little wearing. I wore it for, I had it for like 2 weeks. I was gonna do a video about it after, thinking about it for a while and just, kind of giving it some thought. And
hold up, wait a minute, let me put some pimpin' in it.
it's a big hype behind it. A lot of people say a lot of good things about this fragrance, how accurate it is. I haven't got my nose on Louis Vuitton's Imagination, so I can't really too much compare. But from smelling this, as accurate as a lot of people say that it is, I have my own opinion about this fragrance, which to me, it's a very basic fragrance. And this is, the thing behind it. A lot of people hear Louis Vuitton Imagination and they, put that at the forefront as, one of those Mount Rushmore fragrances, that sits atop of other fragrances. But if this is as close as a lot of people say that it is, it makes me kind of look at Louis Vuitton Imagination in a different kind of way. Because this fragrance is, in my opinion, very basic. Don't get me wrong, it's a very beautiful fragrance. It's one of those fragrances that it's a summer wear, and you definitely can wear it when you clean up. You know what I mean? Like when you dress up for it, nice, clean attire, something that's just, just clean. If you feel clean, this is a fragrance that will have you smelling clean. Citrus heavy in the top. I will put the notes up here for you to, go through them. I didn't really go into the notes like that, but I do know that in the gate, this fragrance opens with heavy citrus on the top. Heavy citrus. It's one of those fragrances that just bursts with, that citrusy kind of vibe. Definitely get some lemon, some bergamot, and there's some orange in there somewhere, and I'm getting the kind of orange that I'm getting is like that, the orange peel. Like you get that right out the gate. It kind of settles down, as it dry down, and it just gives you more of a very clean dry down. Like it's just the citrusy kind of die down some, but it still has that very bright, that very energetic kind of vibe to it. All in all, though, this is a very nice fragrance in the sense of being a clean, fresh, very strong in its opening. It does, mellow down and dry down a little bit. But you can tell that the perfumer put a lot of effort and energy behind this fragrance because it's blended very well. Very well. You do get kind of like I get kind of like a soapy kind of smell in between the citrusy aspect of it. Like you get that burst with the citrus in there, and then right trailing behind that, you get kind of like a soapy kind of smell, but it's still blended with the citrusy, but it's just like a clean, nice, fresh. And then, and it's, you know, following through, you start getting some type of woody notes a little bit, just a little, not too heavy, because again, I can't really see this being, you know, one of those fragrances that put in mad work during the fall and winter months. I mean, you could wear this during the fall and winter if you're working indoors. So it would definitely be a nice office scent where you don't want to overpower anybody or offend anybody by those more dominant and potent, pressing kind of fragrances that, you know, demands attention. This is more of a subtle, beautiful fragrance that it smells good, but it's not one of those fragrances that's just going to grab your attention. Being that it's supposed to be inspired by Louis Vuitton's imagination, I don't know. I'm thinking that because Louis Vuitton has that high ticket on it, that's what kind of elevate that fragrance to be in the plateau that it's in. But if it smells anything like this, it's a basic smell to me, not something that's, you know, an attention grabber. I can't really see this really just, you know, making somebody walk up to you and be like, hey, you know, you smell great. What do you have on? I've worn this a few times to work. It didn't really wow me or, you know, the people around me. It's a beautiful fragrance, but it's basic to me. And being that this is a Middle Eastern house, you kind of think that they would have, you know, wowed out a bit. And maybe this is what they were going for. You know, maybe they were going for that more subtle Louis Vuitton imagination kind of vibe, you know, riding off the coattails of Louis Vuitton's imagination to, you know, kind of get those people that may not be wanting to spend that type of bread, you know, on a fragrance when they can just kind of, you know, get them something that's more reasonable. This fragrance around the $40 range, not too much. It's not gonna hurt you. You know, you definitely will have some money to play with after you purchase this, so that's a plus to it, you know, as well. But overall, beautiful fragrance, citrusy, soapy, clean. You know, you got some woods in there that kind of like give it a little foundational stick to it, that, you know, that to give it a little push, you know, to give it, you know, that little soundness to it. Nice fragrance. It really is. Nice fragrance. I'm not gonna knock it. I'm not gonna say that it's not. And even though it's not one of those powerhouse fragrances that will knock your socks off and make you, you know, go head over heels over it, it is a fragrance that I'm putting emphasis on this. This is a fragrance that I would cop again if I run out. And here's the reason why.
Smell good, don't they? Yeah.
Throughout your collection, you want to have different fragrances in your collection for different occasions. And this is one of those fragrances that I know if I'm going into an office environment, a professional environment where, you know, I may have on casual clothes, suit or tie, I can definitely wear this and pull this off. Now, I may not get the compliments that, you know, some of my other fragrances may pull, but one thing about it, you will smell the way that you look and the way that you dress with this fragrance on. You will smell professional. You will smell, you know, as they say, prestigious. And, you know, I guess, again, that's what they're going for, the prestigious aspect of a fragrance. So it's not meant to be one of those fragrances that's over the top, that wows you and have you, you know, looking for compliments out the ass. It's just not that. It's one of those beautiful fragrances that you wear and it, you know, it complements what you're wearing. So off skin, you still get a little of, and I'm definitely getting the bergamot. That's coming, you know, initially. But again, there's that soapy kind of like note to it, that soapy smell to it that is like the meat and potatoes of the fragrance, I guess. And the bergamot is accentuating that. You get the woodsy aspect, but again, I think because the citrusy aspect of it in the top end, it was meant to be a lot more light, a lot more vibrant, a lot more fresh and clean. One of those type of fragrances. But overall, beautiful fragrance. You know, I definitely will re-up on this when I run out. I definitely will, because again, it's a beautiful fragrance. I don't believe that, you know, they were intended for this fragrance to be one of those ones that just, you know, is over the top. Who knows? The more that I wear this, the more that I may, you know, realize that this is a sleeper. You know, sometimes those fragrances do that. They sit for a while on your shelf. You wear them a couple times, and then it just hits you. And you'll be like, man, this is really good. So I've only had it for 2 weeks. I've wore it, you know, a few times. I'm not really intimate with it like that. And as time go on, I think it's going to be a shiner. But it's definitely one of those clean, beautiful fragrances that I'm glad to add to my collection. And I'm definitely gonna re-up the moment that I run out. And by that time, who knows, the price might even dip a little bit more, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth the $40. If you're looking for an imagination inspired by, clone, dupe, whatever you want to call it, word on the street, this is very close. This is very close, you know. And as a standalone fragrance, it smells great to me. It really does. It smells great to me. It's not one of those, and I don't expect it to be anything other than what it is. It smells like a very clean, fresh, nice fragrance that you wear when you kind of dress up a bit. You don't want to offend anybody. You know, you don't want to have that fragrance on that's like meant to be out in a club or, you know, just trying to pull something. I think it's just one of those fragrances where someone will take that and say, hey man, this is, you know, you smell good, but in a good, clean way. So again, variety is good in your collection. If you are, you know, if you got your nose on imagination, or if you have imagination, or you're looking for a dupe of imagination, then this might be it. This might be it. However, there's tons and tons and tons of dupes of imagination. I'm just glad that, you know, I got this one because they say it's very close in its dry down. It's very close. The only thing that throws this off from imagination is the opening. They said it's a little bit too citrusy in its opening, you know, in comparison to imagination. But as it dries down more of an imagination vibe. So I'll take that, run with it. When I do wear it, I do feel that I smell great because, again, it's a great fragrance. Great fragrance. I'm not too sure about the projection on it. It is a light fragrance, you know, very citrusy. You know, that don't really kick out as much as it does. However, I did hear that it lasts way longer than Louis Vuitton's Imagination. So if that's a thing where, you know, you love that DNA, but it just don't have no muscle to it, it's a little weak, it don't, you know, last long enough. This fragrance, the times that I wore it, I had pretty good longevity out of it. It lasted, I would say, 6 to 7 hours, strong. Skin scent pulled me through for the rest of the day. So it's a plus on that end. I mean, to dupe something and then, you know, kind of outperform what you're duping and you paying less, sound like a deal to me. But hey, this is Marwa by Arabiyat Prestige. And this is a prestigious fragrance. If it's something that you're looking for, something that you're interested in, trying to find that Louis Vuitton Imagination dupe at a good reasonable price, it's gonna last a nice amount of time on your skin. Smells great. Again, that opening is a little bit citrusy, and it's dry down, it mellows out. This might be what you're looking for. It just might be what you're looking for. And I'm giving it thumbs up. I like it. Definitely gonna grab me another bottle. Once I get a little bit too low on this one here, because I gotta have it. Diversity in my collection. But look, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for supporting the channel. Like, comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Share. You know, let's talk about it. If you have any Louis Vuitton Imagination dupes or clones in your collection, jump in the comment, let me know. I might have to see what I can find and compare the two and see, you know, which one outperforms the next. But hey, it's your boy Zebo708. I'm about to get up out of here. Love you guys. Peace.